The Oregon State Beavers take on Iowa State, 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Oregon State's -1, totals 142.5. We're 7-0 with a push in our last 8 extra daily picks on BrockPage.com. And if you want to access today's extra daily pick, it's only going to cost you just $2.99. We're also 6-3 in our last 9 NBA tier package picks on that very same website. And the good news is we have another NBA tier package pick going off here this evening. We currently have over 860 members who are signed up and active on that page. And if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks on my channel that I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my website at BrockPage.com. Now, the Beavers took care of Portland State in their opener, held them to just 64 points in that victory. The Beavers also held their opponents to just 31% shooting from beyond the arc. Jared Lucas, probably recognize that name. He had 3 steals in the opener, 16 total points for the guard. Lucas also hit 3 of 5 from three-land. Meanwhile, Warith Altishe had 21 total points in the opener himself, 8 rebounds, couple of steals, and 2 blocks for the forward. Now they're taking on an Iowa State program who failed to cover in their opener against Kennesaw State. As a matter of fact, they gave up 44 points in the second half to Kennesaw State in that game. 73 total points they gave up for the entire contest. Now, total-wise, the Cyclones saw their season opener get over the line. 2 out of their last 3 meetings with Oregon State got over the total as well. I'm going to lean toward Oregon State -1 over 142.5. Next matchup, it is going to be not on our big screen. San Diego State versus BYU, 9 o'clock Eastern start time. BYU's -3, numbers 135.5. Now, BYU failed to cover the point spread in their opener against Cleveland State. The Cougs scored just 69 points in that ball game, and they shot a dismal 26% from beyond the arc. Now, they're taking on an Aztec team who plays very well defensively. They held UC Riverside, that is, to just 53 points, and that was a double-digit victory in the opener there. Now, the Aztecs held Riverside to just 23 points in the final 20 minutes of that game. 53 total points for the entire game, like I said. When it comes to the scoring, Matt Bradley had 23 points in the opener, a couple of boards as well. Meanwhile, Trey Pulliam had 15 points along with 4 rebounds. Now, total-wise, both of these schools saw their season openers fall under the posted total, respectively. I'm going to lean towards San Diego State +3, under 135.5. Next matchup, a later one, it is going to be SMU versus the Oregon Ducks, 11 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Oregon's -7.5, totals 145. The Ducks put up 83 points in their dismantling of Texas Southern. Will Richardson scored 20 points in the opener, a couple of boards, 4 assists. He also drilled all 6 of his free throws, and he made 4 of 8 from three-land. Meanwhile, Davion Harmon scored 15 points against Texas Southern as well. 3 rebounds, couple assists for Harmon. Davion also went 4 of 4 from the stripe. They're taking on an SMU squad who looked pretty good in their opener themselves, but failed to cover the point spread against a weak McNeese State team. I like the Oregon Ducks -7.5, under 145. Having trouble speaking in this video for some reason. I'm just so excited, so many games. That's why, I'm really excited. Hard to, my mind's racing, I'm, a million miles an hour. But anyway, next game, Stanford, Santa Clara, 11 o'clock Eastern start time. Stanford's -3, totals 137. The Cardinal failed to cover in their opener, and they put up just 62 points on Tarleton State. The Cardinals scored just 24 points in the first half, and they also shot just 28% from beyond the arc. Now, they're taking on a Santa Clara team who dropped 84 on Cal Fullerton in their opener themselves. The Broncos are officially 1-0 against the number, And they shot an incredible 57% from the field in their opener. Josip Vrankic had 29 points in the opener, 8 rebounds, 5 assists for the 6'9 senior. Josip also had 5 steals defensively. Meanwhile, Jalen Williams had 16 points in the opener himself, a couple of boards and 5 assists for the 6'6 junior. And Stanford, they're going to have to look out because Santa Clara, they actually have some pretty decent size for a smaller school. I'm going to lean toward the Santa Clara Broncos +3 over 137. Next contest, Villanova, UCLA, 11:30 Eastern start time. UCLA's -3, totals 139.5. And as good as the Bruins looked in their opener, just keep in mind that UCLA has lost their last 3 meetings with Nova. The Bruins' leading scorer in their season opener this year, Jules Bernard, he shot just 60% from the foul line. Now they're taking on a Nova squad who put up 91 points on Mount St. Mary's, easily covered a 26-point spread in that one. Justin Moore had 27 against the Mount. Couple of boards, 7 assists for the junior. Now Moore also went 4 of 6 from downtown. Meanwhile, Jermaine Samuels had 17 points and went 88% from the field. Now defensively, the Wildcats, they held Mount St. Mary's to just 21 first-half points. Nova also held the Mount to just 25% shooting from beyond the arc. Now, total-wise, both teams saw their respective openers get over the posted total. Plus, this may be one of those games that could require some extra time. I'm going to lean toward Villanova +3 over 139.5. And with that, guys, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Powered to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we are 7-0 with a push in our last 8 extra daily picks. I like Loyola Maryland -10 under 145.5. UC Davis -7.5 over 149. I like Fairleigh Dickinson +16 under 151.5. Cal Poly +8 over 133 and a hook. Rhode Island -8.5 over 154. Eastern Michigan -1.5 under 138. I'm leaning toward the Richmond Spiders -6.5 under 141. Butler -22 under 138.5. Appalachian State -2 under 134 and a hook. I like Xavier -9 under 143. I'm also leaning toward Minnesota +2.5 under 139. Michigan State -24 under 143.5. I'm leaning toward William and Mary, the Tribe -2 over 137. I also like Duke -25.5 under 146. Give me Middle Tennessee State -12.5 over 135. East Carolina -5 under 142.5. Ole Miss -23.5 over 134. Coppin State +15 over 156. I'm also leaning toward Fordham +3.5 over 133. I also like Furman. I believe they're the Paladins. The Furman Paladins, I think. Furman +9 over 145. Boston College -16 over 138. Give me Marist -6 over 131. UAB -13 over 136.5. Ohio State -19.5 over 132. Northern Illinois +24.5 under 144. George Mason -8 over 147.5. I'm also leaning toward Radford +17 under 124. Kentucky -23 over 144.5. I'm also leaning toward Northern Kentucky -6.5 under 128. Give me Charlotte -14.5 over 131. I'm also leaning toward VMI +1 under 143. Give me Wofford +6.5 over 131. Wright State +2 over 160. I like the Lafayette Leopards -3 under 146.5. I also like Louisiana Tech -17.5 under 130. Lipscomb plus 5.5 over 154. Georgia Tech minus 13 over 140. Wake Forest minus 18 over 145. Texas A&M minus 11 under 128. Austin Peay plus 13 under 139.5. St. Louis, the Billikens, minus 21 under 140 and a hook. Texas A&M, minus 26. Scratch that. Green Bay, plus 21.5 under 133. I'm also leaning toward Northwestern, minus 19 over 135.5. Iowa, minus 19.5 over 138. Southern Miss, plus 2.5 over 140. Auburn, minus 25.5 over 142. I like Oakland, plus 16.5 over 144. Give me Oregon State, minus 1 over 142.5. I also like Houston, minus 13 under 141. Chicago State, plus 11.5 over 143. I'm also leaning toward South Dakota State, plus 12.5 over 164. Give me Kansas, minus 26.5 over 134. I also like LSU, minus 13.5 over 137. Give me Yale, plus 1 over 145.5. I also like UTSA. That's right, Texas San Antonio, the Roadrunners, plus 18.5 over 138. Give me Baylor, minus 33.5 under 138. Indiana State, plus 26 over 146. Marquette, minus 13 under 138.5. I like Pitt, plus 15.5 under 134. Nebraska, minus 11.5 over 148. Virginia Tech, minus 10 over 135. Illinois, minus 16 over 138 and a hook. North Carolina, minus 23.5 under 147. North Florida, plus 12 over 139.5. Give me San Diego State, plus 3 under 135 and a hook. Southern Utah, minus 10.5 over 157. I'm also leaning toward Arizona, minus 24 over 140. South Carolina Gamecocks, minus 6.5 under 147. Arkansas Pine Bluff, plus 33 under 146. Pepperdine, minus 5 under 141. I also like Fresno State, minus 10.5 over 141. Nevada, minus 14.5 over 152. Washington State, minus 13.5 over 140. St. Mary's, minus 17.5 over 135. Give me Oregon, the Ducks, minus 7 under 145. I also like Santa Clara, plus 3 over 137. Before I give you my next and final free pick for the video, one final reminder that we are 7-0 with a push in our last 8 extra daily picks on BrockPage.com. We're also 6-3 in our last 9 NBA tier package picks on that very same website. I'm going to lean toward Villanova, plus 3 over 139.5. And with that, guys, now it's time for our shout out of the day. And that's going to go to Tariq B, who said the other day, I appreciate all the hard work you put in. I can't imagine all the research that's involved. And I'll tell you what, Tariq, you're absolutely right. I'll tell you what, if I didn't do any research and I just pulled these games out of my butt, I'd have the ability to make like 20 to 30 videos a day. Like, if I was just like flipping a coin and just picking them out of my ass, like, I apologize about the language, but if I was just picking these games out of my ass, do you understand how much time I would have to, like, I would be able to make so many more just videos. I'd be able to produce so much more content. So I'm glad you appreciate that and you acknowledge that, because if I didn't do so much like research and like go on these college kids like Twitter accounts to see like where their mind is and stuff, like I don't have to do that, but I do want to win these games. You know what I mean? I'm just not like just throwing them out there. Like I want to win all of them. And so, yeah, it's a lot of research. It's a lot of work. And if I didn't do as much work, I'd probably be able to produce a lot more content. But I want to win games for you guys. I mean, this is just the bottom line. But anyway, Tarek B, always good to see you in the comment section. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on BrockPage.com. If you guys do end up getting a membership here today on this website, on my website at BrockPage.com, just keep in mind you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on BrockPage.com, you are going to get access to that content all the way through the end of November. I always tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Be on the lookout. I'm going to make a college football video here this afternoon, so the grind never stops. We're going to do our best to put that video out tonight. If not, it's going to get out before kickoff. But anyway, guys, with that in mind, happy Friday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at BrockPage.com.